Hey everybody, and welcome back to First Time Watch Fridays here on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and today, as you can see behind me, I watched Pearl, which is the prequel to X. If you've seen X, you've sort of seen Pearl, played by Mia Goth, who also played a the character Maxine in X, and there's going to be a new movie called Maxine, which takes place like a year after X. So uh Pearl is, in my opinion, a better movie than X. I liked X a lot. A lot of people did say they didn't like X. I don't know why I did, but I did. I remember watching it going, this is actually like I was into it. Um it was set on the farm, the same farm that we see in Pearl. But in Pearl, it takes place in 1918 when Pearl was this, young woman who is I think she's in her at least in her 20s, I believe, because her husband is in the war and she's helping her mom and her invalid dad and kind of run the farm while her husband's, out, doing war stuff. Um and so she's sort of going crazy out there. She feels like uh the only people she can really talk to are the animals and stuff, and so she decides to spend like 8 cents or so or close to it to go watch a movie at the theater one day when she's supposed to be just buying medicine, and she ends up watching a movie and meeting this guy just call the projectionist. He doesn't have a name, and which I think makes it kind of grosser and weirder, and kind of and worse off for him. So he is kind of slimy, I guess, but not really. He's played by David Cornsweet. I think that's how you say his name, Cornsweet. Um, he's gonna be the new Superman, apparently. Um, so the projectionist kind of tells Pearl the things that she needs to hear, that she could be a star if she really wanted to. She's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Probably just trying to get her into bed. But she goes home and she has this plan to figure out how to be a star. Meanwhile, by the way, there will be spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. Well, Showtime. I watched it on Paramount Plus through the Showtime. So, Pearl ends up what is it? Ends up chatting with her um sister-in-law, who is telling her about this amazing audition for a dance audition for a church troupe. And all Pearl can think about is that's the way she's gonna get out of doing everything in her life, and she's gonna be the star. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like there's no way it's not gonna happen to her for her. And so she's really excited about that. But her mom doesn't want her to, and her mom wants her to stay at the house and help her and everything. And she basically calls her ungrateful for not, not being there and all this other stuff. And there is, before I forgot to mention this, but there's the alligator, and I believe that I haven't seen X in like a year or two, so it's been a little while, but I believe, if I'm correct, the alligator was in, or was talked about at least in X. So because there's at the same farm and everything. Um, so the there's stuff with the mom and everything, and at one point she's just trying to figure out how to get rid of her family, and she's about to like feed her dad to the crocodile. I was like, "Oof, that would be rough." But she gets caught by her mother, and her mother has I don't think her mother has any idea what she's doing. Uh but maybe she does. There were some things like her mom apparently knew a lot more of what was going on than even Pearl knew. Knew she knew. And so, one thing leads to another. Eventually, she tries to kill her mom, and then she ends up killing her mom later. She said her mom got set on fire. That was a great fire scene. Um, and kind of shoved down a basement, but she was still making noises down there, so she was still alive, and whatnot, and she got killed. The father is kind of scared to death, like after almost being eaten by a crocodile, and he can't really move. I think he's like paralyzed or something from some kind of what is it? Some kind of like pandemic that they were in, some kind of stuff that was going on. She was like he just couldn't move. So, but you could see on his face that he was terrified. He's definitely terrified of Pearl because he knew Pearl how dangerous she was, and she doesn't. There's a lot of stuff that happens. There's a lot of stuff that happens. I don't want to get into everything because you gotta watch the movie. And if you've already seen the movie, then you know everything. But like the whole movie is just fucking nuts. And I had such a fun time with it. I first of all, I am not very much into like movies set at this time period. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't, but the way they did it and the way they sort of made it, and when I found out that sort of whatever happened to Baby Jane and Wizard of Oz were kind of like the influence, I guess, for this because Kai West, who directed it, told and co-wrote it with Mia Goth, told Mia to watch those movies. And you can sort of see the way that Pearl gets dressed and her looks, that she's kind of going for a Julie Andrews kind of look. And it I'll just say this because my favorite scene in the whole movie is the scene where she's at the audition. Like right in the beginning, she's telling her sister-in-law that she's gonna do it. She's gonna win. She's gonna get it. There's no way in hell she's not gonna get it. Like, and she gets up there and she does the best dancing she's ever done. She's twirling, she's running around, she's looking great. She is like on fire. This girl, if there was any doubt in her mind, she knew she won it. Like she knew there was no way they could say no to that. And they say no. And they say no, not because she didn't do a great job dancing. She did a wonderful job dancing. It's because they had somebody else in mind when they came in there and it was not her. And I absolutely love that. Like, because honestly, that's how auditions work. When you audition, you give everybody a chance, and if maybe somehow or another they change their mind, that's one thing. But most of the time, especially when you have other people that look just like Pearl, you don't want to cast her. And so I get really upset at these people, in actors I know, they get really mad that they bombed the audition. I'm like, but you did your best. Or if you didn't, that's just something you got to work on the next time. But you did your best. You rocked it out. If they just didn't see you in that part, they just didn't see you in that part. It has nothing to do with you necessarily. And it's all to do with them and what the directors or what the producers or what anybody is actually looking for. And so when somebody doesn't get an audition, that means you're supposed to go to the next audition and the next audition. But Pearl this was like her one chance, she thought. And when it just didn't happen, like all hell sort of just broke loose in her brain, I think. And then she gives this really, really good monologue to her sister-in-law that I just thought, man, I'm surprised she didn't go up for like an Oscar. Like she did such a damn good job. This is why I think the Oscars are going to change someday. I have this feeling that someday when those old people who are running the Academy right now pass away and new people start taking over the academy, things are going to shift, and horror itself is going to be looked at as a chance to win because there are so many good movies that get over, so many good scenes and acting and all this stuff that get overlooked because, oh, that's in the horror genre. Fucking, she gave a Academy Award winning speech. It was one of the best I've ever seen any horror person give. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I felt so sorry for her, but I also felt so scared of her. Like, there was so many different emotions that went through my body as I was watching that scene. And if you've seen it, you know what scene that is. But there was just and I was just like, I feel her at that moment. I'm nothing like her, but I feel her, if you know what I mean. So I thought she did a fantastic job. Mia Goth is incredible, and I know she's gonna be in the new Blade movie, and she's in Maxine coming out. So she is doing really well for herself. I think there's other things, other projects she's gonna be working on, and I mean, I just hope she keeps doing stuff in the horror genre because honestly, um, we need somebody like her. We need somebody who's really good, who's very pretty, you know, who, you know, and she's not pretty in like the most conventional like sense. She's very cute. Like she's adorable. And so she does such a great job kind of just playing this like sort of fucked up raw character. And I loved it. I loved every minute of watching this movie with her. I'm gonna thank my buddy Vincent Pereira, who like kept saying, "Watch Pearl, watch Pearl, watch Pearl," because well, I finally did, and I was just blown away by it. Like, I don't think I can say anything like negative about it. Like, the only thing I might say is maybe in the first whatever 5-10 minutes I was a little slow at first to me, but man, it just picks up and up and up, and the more you get into it, the more you get intrigued of what is going to happen because this is not a normal horror film at all. This isn't your standard slasher or something. This isn't, this is like girls gone crazy kind of chick movie like The Loved Ones or those kind of movies that Sarah Atkins would generally teach get me to do for the Horror Film Lovers podcast. Uh so I think she would really like this. I know she said she didn't like X. I think she would like this one because it's a lot different. I think you're really drawn into the character and I adored it. Like I will watch this movie again and again and again. I'm gonna end up buying it on Blu-ray at some point, or I don't know if it's on 4K, but I'm definitely gonna be buying it. Ty West, after watching House of the Devil, I know we're gonna do The Innkeepers this year at some point. I adore Ty West, and I want him to keep doing these things. Can't wait to see Maxine. Definitely seeing that this year. This thing comes out, I think, in like July, so perfect. Just can't wait. This is going to be awesome. So thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed um Pearl, did you like it more than X? Did you like X more than Pearl? Did you not like either of them? Let me know. I'd like to hear your guys' comments on this. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little review, and we'll talk later. Bye.